Good morning, my friends. Good morning. Welcome to my craft room. My name is Dara Walter of Pickled Peppers Creative Cafe at pickledpepperscreative.com. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I like to come here to you on Saturday mornings to share crafty stuff made with paper. So welcome, welcome. Come on in. Today is Saturday, April 5th, 2025. I am always astounded when I say the date. It is just blows my mind how fast time is going. And speaking of time, you are spending yours with me. I am excited. So I'm going to share with you cute and creative stuff. I hope you're ready. So how are you? How are you? Come on into my craft room. When you come in, say hi to me. Let me know that you're here. If you're new here, let me know where you're from in the comments below, where you're watching from. And I appreciate you being here. And if you've been here 1,001 times, I appreciate you just as much. So don't forget to say hi to me in the comments. If you like what we're creating and what I'm sharing today, don't hesitate to give a thumbs up. Whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, I would love the thumbs up. So thank you for that. While we're creating, if you have questions or if you'd like to chat with me, I'm a chatty Kathy. I'm a chatty box. I love to talk. So talk with me in the comments below. Sometimes I can't see the messages until afterwards, but I'll still chat with you because I love it. So make sure to leave comments in the comment section. I'd love that. And if you're on YouTube, if you would give a thumbs up. Oh, look at that. Hit the subscribe button and turn on your post notifications so you know when I am here with new content. So good morning, Anna. Welcome to my craft room. Thank you so much for being here. Happy April 5th, 2025. I can't believe how fast time is going. Well, it's kind of a gloomy day in the Midwest where I am from. I don't see the sunshine out. I see overcast skies, but guess what? It's always sunny in my craft room. So, yeah, if you want to chat, I do have a little bit of announcement. I was going to say I don't have any announcements. I do want to kind of put out there to you two things, and I will actually be sending an email with more detailed information. So if you're not on my email list, the link is in the comment section, or in the description above. So make sure that you join my email list. So it is where you will know all of my happenings and where I'll be. But two things are going to be happening in this next month. One in the next week, 2 weeks. That is that host codes are going away. So Stampin' Up! Has a new rewards program. And I will send an email with some of the details. And the other thing is the main part of the live session that I create with, like you do here with me, we are going to be moving in about a month to YouTube. That way you can have access to the content for a longer time. Facebook has made a change to their platform, and they only allow videos to stay in place for 30 days. But I would like for them to stay longer because you may not get around to creating the project in 30 days. So we are going to be moving to YouTube, and I'll still post here. So you'll be able to see the content here on Facebook as well. But if you want to view it long term, the live portion will be moving to YouTube. All right. Well, good morning. Tell me how you are. Don't forget to say hi when you jump in. And yeah, just say, hey, if you're new, say, hey, I'm here. All right. We're going to jump to our project. I've been chatting enough now. And we are not making a card today, you guys. Can you believe that? We're making a different paper crafting project. So it's still paper crafting, but it's not a card. So I thought we'd do something a little different, and I'm a little bit excited about it. Just that we're not making a card. I can show you other fun and creative things to do. All right, so let me find, let's find you on the computer. I've been trying to use two places, two devices or two different places that I can see you, because I have found that sometimes I'm not seeing people for whatever reason. I'm not seeing you when you show up, and I'm not seeing your comments. So I figure if I look at in two different places, I have a better chance of chatting with you. All right, so let's talk about what we're going to be using today. We are going to be using it is called Grow with Love. So it is the Grow with Love bundle. And there, as you can see, there are spices on the front, but they're still really cute. Can you see that? Oh, I got a little bit of the glare. Let's try and get around that. So there's basil, rosemary, mint, and thyme. Can you see that? And then there's a couple of fun sentiments here. And then we have this outline shape that's fun. And it is a stamp and die bundle, which means that there are coordinating dies. Sometimes the bundles come with an embossing folder. Sometimes they come with a punch. This particular bundle comes with dies. Okay, so that having been said, I love it. I love it. I think I have an obsession with food because I love fruit. I love fruit stamps too. I don't know. I love butterflies. I love things. I love nature. Maybe that's it. Do you think that's it? It could be it. All right. And let's take a look at the dies. Oh, we'll look back and I'll tell you what the sentiments say. But I do want to show you what's in the die set. So a bit of a surprise. And you're going to see what we're going to be working with today. So, oh, that was right. Let's turn this over. Here we go. You see that? So you can tell here that there are dies that will cut out. Let's see. Let's do it this way. Here we go. Where's my camera? All right. I think that's better. So there are dies that coordinate with each of the 4 plants that we have here. And then that outline, it will actually make a mat. And then this will be stamped inside of it. So we're going to use that. So that is there. We have a couple of labels. And then, can you see right here in the center, we have, these are, I don't know what you call them. They're little tab holes. That's what I'm going to call them. And then we have this guy. So this is what we're going to be creating today. And then the sentiments here say, let's see, that glare is really bad. And maybe I moved my ring light. I don't know. You're on my mind, from the garden of. So that's this way. Grow with love. And here, thanks so much for your love and care. So some sweet sentiments there as well. And let's see, where should we start? We're going to do a little bit of die cutting. And so I think we'll start with the stamping. And then, yeah, that's logical. And then we'll move right into the die cutting. So the designer series paper that we're going to be using today is, oh, I've already gotten my paper out that we're using. So we're using the Timeless Plaid 6x6 designer series paper, and true to its name, there are plaids here. So we're going to be using the plaids. I don't know. You guys know me. I'm going to tell you every single time that I put my hand on plaids and gingham, I love them. I love them. I really love them. I love them. I don't know why I'm enamored with it. I don't know what it means to me, because you know what? I do not. One of the most, I'll tell you this quick little story. One of the worst, I would say, school pictures I ever had was in 6th grade. My grandma bought me a 2-piece plaid outfit, and it was like fall plaid. So there were yellows and, corals, and oh my gosh, I hated it. I was horrifying. But so I don't like plaid clothing, but I love plaid and gingham print. Really weird. But yeah, so, and then I think you saw, this is the pattern that we're going to be using. So there is some, I think this is going to be Lost Lagoon. I don't know, there's boho blue there. It was hard for me to tell which one it was. So I did bring in Lost Lagoon because I love it. There's some old olive there, and I don't know what else. But those are the colors that we're focusing on. So I wrote them in. Whoa. I have black memento, of course, as always. Let's get us back in focus here. And then I have the old olive and Lost Lagoon. So we'll be stamping a little bit with that. All right. And then in terms of paper, let's move this aside. Not lose anything here. I brought in some crumb cake. So we're going to be using crumb cake. We have some Lost Lagoon cardstock. We have old olive cardstock, and then we have the there's some more Lost Lagoon and crumb cake, and then we have some basic white. So we're going to start with the basic white because we do have stamping to do on the basic white. So we'll start with this stamping. Let's take a look here. And see where we are. Okay, so let's start with, I think we're going to need a larger block than what I brought out. Let's grab a large block. I have a very big stamping block here. My blocks are horrible too, you guys. I'll give you that disclaimer ahead of time. I haven't cleaned them, so it looks like I need to have a block cleaning day. Let's get that out of there. Okay, so we're going to start with that outline. Remember I said we were going to use that, I guess it's not really an outline. What would you call it? A frame. There we go. There's a good word for it. We're going to use that frame, and we're going to stamp it with the Lost Lagoon. If you are new to stamping, I like to point this out in case we have any new people watching, Stampin' Up! Stamps come in 2 different ways. They come in cling. That is the red rubber that you see here. It's red rubber on foam. Can you see that? And then there are photopolymer, which are clear stamps. The clear stamps need a spongy surface because there is none. But with the cling stamp, there's already a spongy, I don't know what you want to call it, spongy apparatus attached. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this, or ink the stamp, just by tapping it upside down. That way I can tell that I've covered the entire surface. And then we're going to stamp this down. And I'm going to make another one. Oh, look at that. That didn't happen very good. Oh, yes, it did. I see what I did. I pressed a little bit too hard. We're going to make another one for good measure. So let that be a lesson for you. This extra little line here, we don't need, and what it is the outline here. I pressed really, really hard, and I got a little more than I bargained for, which is okay. All right, let's put this aside. I'll worry about it later. By the way, hey, who's drinking coffee with me this morning? Is anybody drinking coffee with me? I have my usual. I'm a girl that I like to stick to the same things as long as I can. I like to change, but yeah, I have my French vanilla piping hot and ready. I've already been sipping on it. And then who's drinking cold drink? Tea, cola, soda? I like when you have a drink with me. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is pull in some crumb cake. So let's grab a piece of crumb cake. Still have our stamps here. Trying to keep a little organization on my desktop. And we're going to use the Old Olive. So I think we're going to stamp with the time. I think we're going to use that. But I'm going to take that You're on My Mind sentiment. And, you know, I should probably, clean my blocks a little bit. So it looks like there's pretty peacock ink on my stamping blocks, and I just don't want to end up, I'm already making a mess on my paper, and we don't want a huge mess on the paper. So let's get a diaper wipe out. And I'm just going to clean this block before I use it. And let's clean this one too. I am so horrible. I put my stamps away and I don't clean them when I put them away either. I clean them usually before I use them, like now. So this is my normal MO. Don't tell the neighbors. They might think differently of me. Okay, so we're going to stamp the sentiment with using Old Olive ink right on the crumb cake. And I'm casing our catalog, by the way. Let me tell you that too. There are fantastic ideas in the catalog. So if you're ever looking for some inspiration, that's stamped kind of light. We may have to do that in black memento. Or maybe even early espresso. I don't know. This ink pad may need re-inking. So I'm going to go right down the line. We'll do it with the Lost Lagoon. We'll see if it shows up better. Either of them will match. Oh yeah, much better. Let's do another one for good measure. All right. Yeah, that's much better. I think that Old Olive is in need of a little bit of re-inking. By the way, did you know that you could do that? So Stampin' Up! Sells bottles of re-inker so that you can freshen the ink on your pads. So whenever I buy the regular size stamp pad, stamp pad, I also buy the coordinating re-inker. And that way it's good for a long time. And another reason I do that is especially with the in colors. The in colors, when they retire, people will buy the re-inkers. They'll buy everything up in that color so that they have it. And if you wait until later, you may not get it. You may not get it. So I like to do that. All right, so we're gonna switch over. Now that I've cleaned my ink or my stamp blocks, acrylic blocks, might as well wipe this one too for good measure. We're going to go ahead and pull out that time. I'm going to stamp with that. And I'm going to stamp, let's bring our basic white border stamp back in that we've stamped. And I think we're going to stamp, let's use, I want to use both of them. Let's use the Old Olive for the background. Since it didn't stamp very dark, I was going to stamp off, but let's go ahead and stamp this down right in the middle. And I hope that I'm able to get this dark enough. But we're going to put this right down in the center of that border. And we're going to hope for the best. Say a little prayer. Oh, it got a little extra. I'm not going to worry about that, though. I'm not going to worry about that. That looks pretty good. And then, oh, we need that time back. We're going to stamp it with the Lost Lagoon. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's cover this up. And then we'll stamp that same sprig with the Lost Lagoon. And I'm just going to put it here to the side because we're going to die cut it. And let's make 2. I don't think we're going to use 2, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to be a good girl and clean this off right now since I have diaper wipes handy. Let's close this up. All right, so I think we're done with stamping. We will see. You can never trust me. I might say that we're done and we may not be done. I may discover later that we need more. All right, so let's put this aside. I'm going to bring in the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. So let me grab that behind me. Here we go. This little machine, so it is so compact and convenient. You see how you just fold down the platform? I do like this machine a lot. I had been taking it when I go away to scrapbook or paper craft, and I found that when I need it in my craft room, it's still packed away. Doesn't do me any good, so I have been just leaving it at home. All right, we're going to start with this one. And I have also discovered, let me tell you, that the width here of paper that will go through is roughly 3.5 inches, I think. So anything bigger won't fit through the press or the roller part of the machine. So I do want to tell you that because I'm going to go ahead and cut right down the center here so that I'm sure these pieces will fit. See what I'm doing? I want to make sure that this is going to fit through the die cutting machine. So we'll start out by layering. So we're going to make a sandwich. Can you see this okay? I'll pull it back a little bit. So we're going to put the number 1 plate down. Good morning. Happy Saturday, Miss Patty. Welcome to my craft room. Thank you so much for popping in and hanging out with me. Happy Saturday. All right, so we have our bottom piece of bread. This is how I remember. We have our cooking pan. We have our bottom bread. We have our cheese or meat or whatever you're putting in your sandwich. And then we have our top bread. We forgot the die. So the die can be the cheese and the paper can be the sandwich meat. There we go. And I'm just kind of putting the die, matching it up with the stamping, and I'm just eyeballing it. If this bothers you, and I'm not going to put washi tape or anything to keep this in place, I'm not going to do it. I don't do it very often. Occasionally I do, but if you like, if you feel more secure with washi tape, then please do so. I'm that daredevil. I'm always in a hurry. Okay, so not always, but a lot of time. And so I don't do it. And the result of that is that I've gotten fairly good at matching things up. So perfect. This is what we have. Can you see this? The outline is really cute. I like it. I love the colors that we're using. All right. And then let's go ahead and put that aside. We're going to put our layers back here. So we have our pan, our bottom piece of bread. We have, we'll call this the meat. And here's the cheese. Let's make sure we get the right one. If you're new, if you haven't done die cutting before, there's a raised side of the die. That's the side that does the cutting. Then there's a flat side. So you want that raised side towards your paper. You want it laying on the paper. Oh, that's not the right one. Maybe it's the skinny one. Let's try this again. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, that's really stuck. There we go. Okay. And then we're just gonna cut out the sprig here. We're gonna cut both of them because I'm not so sure. Here's our top bread. We're gonna put the top piece of bread, hold it down. Uh-oh, let's do this again. I'm not sure if you saw what happened, but there's a little bit of static electricity that caused the die to move when I put the plate on top. That is a reason that you would want to use some type of repositionable tape to hold your die in place while you're cutting. So I'm just gonna put it down and hold it, kind of shove it through. Whoops. And pray for the best. Oh. Boy, that was challenging. I have to do it one more time. So we have our little sprig here. This is what we have. And let's put these here so we don't lose them. And then one more time, then we'll cut our sentiment out and we'll do a little bit of assembly and maybe a little embellishing and we're done. So this is quick and cute. It looks a lot busier because we're actually doing all of the die cutting, well, most of it, right here as we're creating, and I don't do that a lot. I like to do it off camera because it's not the most exciting task you can do, but the end result is pretty exciting. The end result is exciting when you get that die cut out of there. So what are you guys up to on this Saturday? What's the weather like where you're at? I like to kind of keep up with what will happen. And oddly enough, it's so that if I venture out, I kind of have an idea of how I need to dress or if I need an umbrella. And it rained a little bit here last night, and I was shocked because I hadn't kept up with the weather much this week, so I didn't expect it. I expect every day to be sunny, even though it is sunny. I like to be mobile, have places to go, like shopping. All right, so we're going to cut the sentiment out, and I think I'm going to use, so let me show you. There are two labels. I think we looked at them. There's a smaller label and a larger label, so they're kind of cute. I think the smaller one is going to fit what we're doing, so I'm grabbing that smaller one out. And we're going to hover over, let's bring this up so you can see. I'm hovering over the sentiment that I made. I just kind of want that, I want it to come out straight. This is the, let's flip this bottom plate over. I think it's getting a little warped, which might be the problem with me fitting it in the way that I need to without the washi tape. All right, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball this to make sure it's straight. That's why I stamped it down twice. And then we're going to shove this right through the Cut and Emboss Mini. So I'm going to shove this to the back. Can you see how the handle is moving? I'm shoving that until the handle is moving. That way I know that it's kind of grabbed onto the plates. Oh, you'll hear that cracking. That cracking sound that you hear is normal. That's what's supposed to happen. It sounds like my knees when I wake up in the morning. That's what it sounds like. All right. I think we're done die cutting, you guys. That wasn't painful, right? That was pretty painless and not so long. All right, let's clear this out so we can do a little bit of finishing work. Okay, and I do have more dimensionals. Let's put our dies away. Oh no, we need that large die. That was the surprise because we're not making a card, remember? We're not making a card. I've kind of gotten my desktop askewed here, but so next we're going to use this, and this will not fit through your mini. So if you have a regular size die cutter, Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, Big Shot, or whatever your larger die cutting machine is, we're using this pattern of the gingham. And we're going to run this through our large die cutting machine. And the end result, let's grab it, is here. So I haven't told you guys what this is yet on purpose. What do you think it is? Do you know now what it might be? All right, let's put this aside. And let's bring in all of our little pieces now. I'm going to put the scraps aside so you don't get sidetracked with those. And let's bring in all of our little pieces. So have you guys decided what this may be? You're going to need a double-sided adhesive. I am using the Stampin' Seal Plus. It is my adhesive of choice. So whatever your favorite adhesive is, oh, I've made a mess of my desktop. Grab your favorite adhesive, and there are score lines here. So once I start folding, you're going to see exactly what this is. Can you see? Can you see what it is? Fun, right? It's a coin envelope. Very, very, oh, we're not done. We're not done cutting. I knew I was missing something. We're going to need to bring that mini Stampin' Seal back in. But for now, let's go ahead and continue with this. So this is going to be a little coin envelope. I'm going to burnish all of the folds. There are 4 of them. Both of the sides will go in first. And then I'm going to open them so we can burnish that bottom edge. Isn't this fun? Now, I've said it's not a card, but you know, we can use this on a card. And I'll kind of show you, we won't make a card, but I'll kind of show you a little bit how we can do that. All right, so that bottom flap goes last. So we're going to close one of the side panels, and I'm going to give it a bead of adhesive down the very edge of it. And let's go down the edge of the flap that's open. And then we're just going to close it. We're going to close it. I'm going to use my bone folder and just kind of burnish it down so that glue really adheres. And then we're going to go on the bottom edge. So that bottom edge will go next. There we go. And we're going to close that right up. And there we have it. Is this not fun? The cutest little envelope ever. It's a little coin envelope. And you know what can fit in here? A gift card. So there are a million reasons. April, we're going to be going into the season for graduations, for weddings, and birthdays are always, always there. So lots of reasons for gift giving. You can tuck cash in there. You can tuck a gift card in there. You can put a little, slide a little card with a sentiment or a quick note in there. Yes. All right. So, let's start building on the front here. So we're going to add our die cut. We're going to put that flat right on the back of here. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Add a little Seal Plus, and then we'll put this right down in the center, or what my eyeballs think the center is. There we go. I hope that's not too crooked. And then we're going to glue down our little sprigs. We're going to kind of leave that a shadow or a hint of the green sprig. The old olive one, we'll leave a hint of that in the center, and then we'll glue down overlapping at the bottom here. I'm going to kind of spread these out because we do want to see the old olive sprig, but we don't want to go over the edge of our envelope, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Add a little bit of Seal Plus here. It's not going to take a lot. And let's kind of shimmy that underneath. There we go. Now we know where we want to put the top one. Oh, let's go back this way. Add a little bit of Seal Plus. And we're going to overlap that bottom and make sure that we don't go over the outside edge. Very good. And then the last thing we're going to do, well, not the last thing, but we're going to take our sentiment. We're going to put this up on Stampin' Dimensionals, and then I'll show you the end result. First, let me show you. So this is what we have so far. Can you see that? Am I in the camera? There we go. Now let's go ahead and grab some Stampin' Dimensionals. Open these right up. And grab a sheet out. You see this? When you get Stampin' Dimensionals, you get 3 sheets of double-sided foam adhesive hexagons. That's what they are. Can you see that? It reminds me of a honeycomb. Maybe that's what it is, honeycomb pattern. All right, I'm just going to grab a couple. And, oh gosh, nail struggle is real today. I need to hurry and get to the salon. I'm overdue. But I just didn't find the time this week to fit it in. So I'll go next week. Oh, trash is here. All right, and then we're just going to pop this up right over our die cuts. And about right here. There we go. This is the cutest little envelope ever, you guys. The colors are amazing. So can you see what we have? Isn't that cute, cute, cute? So here's the back side. And so we're going to, the thing that I forgot to do, we're going to bring back the cut and emboss machine. Let's clear the dust off. I forgot to talk about with you, let me show you what we're cutting so it makes sense. Grab the die cuts here. And I think we're using, we're going to use crumb cake. Because we just have that little bit of crumb cake. So let's find our scrap of crumb cake. What do we do with a large scrap? I thought I'd use the large, oh, here we go. Here we are, here we are. It's not as big as I thought it was. That's big enough for what we need. I have a couple. Let's bring those in. Okay, so in the die set, let's move this out of the way for a moment. There are, so for that envelope, oh, I forgot not to put that there. There are little, I don't know what you want to call them, the little clasp, the little paper clasp holder that you would wrap twine around. So we need to cut that. It's very tiny. And I almost forgot it. So let's cut that out really quickly. And I'm not even sure how we're going to use it. But let's cut it out. Let's put our sandwiches together here. Our bottom bread. Let's see. I think we might be able to get it out of this piece. Yes, we can. Meat and cheese. All right, let's bring this back. Add our top bread. Hold it down. Shove it in and start to wind. All right, and then we'll take a look at what we have here. Go ahead and get the machine out of the way. I told you when I think I'm done, there may not, or there may be something that still needs to happen. So we do want the little tab here, and I'm not sure, like I said, let me show you what it makes. And there we go. I'm not sure what those two little dots are for, but they're on that die cut. Can you see them? So they're intended for something. One here, the little tiny ones. I don't think we're using those little tiny ones. Oh. All right, let's bring our little coin envelope back in. So here's what I mean. A real coin envelope, not that this is not real, but I mean one that you purchase. You would take a brad and you would poke a hole and put a brad through each of these and wrap your twine around it. So I'm going to put them in place, but I'm not actually going to, I'm not going to add any twine to that part of it, but let's go ahead and put them into place. I'm going to use Seal Plus. I'm going to use green glue. I'm going to use the liquid all-purpose glue to put both of these down because I want it to look like a genuine coin envelope. So I'm going to put just a little dot there. And we're only going to see the front of the card, or the front of the envelope for now. So I'll give this just a second to set up. And while it's doing that, let me find some twine. Hopefully. Here we go. So we're using the linen thread. And let's make sure that this is down. I don't want to make a mess. But doesn't that look like a real coin envelope? So you would put a brad through there and then just take your linen thread. But we're going to take the linen thread and make a bow, and we're actually going to put it on the front of our card, and we're all done. The front of our envelope. I keep calling it a card. Can you tell that I'm a card maker? I make lots of other things, but for Stampin' Up, when I'm making Stampin' Up or using Stampin' Up products, I tend to use them mostly for card making. So I have that stuck in my brain. All right, we're just going to tie this into a bow. Give it a little snip, and we'll add it right to the front of our coin envelope, and then we can call it a wrap. All right, let's snip the ends down. I don't want them very long. They're kind of twisty because they're rolled, because it's wound, right? Let's put this on the center bottom. think that's where I like it. See if I can find a mini glue dot. Dimensionals. I'm not seeing a mini glue dot. So we'll just use the Seal Plus. I'll put a tiny, tiny bit of Seal Plus here. I'm not sure what I did with my glue dots. And Seal Plus is a pretty strong adhesive also. It's why it's my adhesive of choice. I can use it when I'm adhering elements that are heavier than the paper that I'm using. Just going to give this a little more of a chop. There we go. All right, here is our finished non-card project. Isn't it cute? It's the cutest little envelope. I don't know. I just want to make more. And I do want to put brads in there and wind the linen thread around it. But what do you think about that? What do you think of the color scheme as well? Beautiful, right? This is a case of the catalog. So thank you, Stampin' Up. All right, so remember I said that you could put this on the front of a card as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at what that might look like. So I have some Lost Lagoon here, a piece of crumb cake. I'm actually not gonna adhere this, but can you see how we could with just some layers? I probably would add another layer even to that. I wonder what it would look like if we added Old Olive. Let's do it, just so we can kind of see what it might look like. It's super cute. I love it, and I love the colors. Love, love, love. So can you see all of the possibilities that you could use this for? Especially birthdays. You could use it if you're giving away flowers. Do you give away flowers? Do you guys like flowers in your home? I have wildflowers that I'm just going to sprinkle. Oh, this is a little too big. I'm going to sprinkle in my backyard this year. It's I think it's called Birds and Butterflies. And so you don't have to really tend to it. You just kind of throw the seeds on the ground, and wildflowers grow, and you just let it do its thing. But if you were giving away a bouquet of flowers, you could tuck a nice little card inside of your coin envelope. Oh yeah. Can you see that? Can you see how that would work? Very cute, right? All right, you guys, that is my share for today. Our cute little coin envelope. And to talk about what we used the linen thread. Was the last thing we used. We used the bundle, Stampin' Die bundle, the Grow with Love. And it has more than just the thyme, but the thyme looks a little flowery, doesn't it? I like the way the leaves are shaped. But there's also mint there, basil, and rosemary. Some cute little sentiments. Comes with coordinating dies. So it's a bundle. If you like this bundle, there is a link in the description above you can click on to go to the online store and see the bundle directly. There's a shop link there too if you want to use that. And then the designer series paper that we chose today is the Timeless Plaid. It is 6 by 6. And then we used Lost Lagoon and Old Olive inks. And let's see, is that it? Yeah, we used the same color cardstock, and we threw in there some crumb cake. This is gorgeous, is it not? All right. Oh yeah, we did have our regular basic white as well. All right, you guys, thank you so much for showing up today. Thanks for hanging out with me in my craft room. I hope you have a wonderfully and blissfully crafty weekend. I will be back with you next week. And next week, I may be back with you on Sunday. But I'll post a reminder as we get closer. So thank you so much for spending your time with me. I appreciate you. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.